It's not always what you call it, cookies and cream per se. Even when we're in what we want to do and what we and love what we're doing and know we make impact, there's those obstacles that's still going to come up, whether it's a thing, a person, or just life itself. So even though you might, be careful what you ask for because you might get it.
There is something special inside you.
Welcome to GNG Podcast with your host, speaker, best-selling author, Chaz Jackson.
What's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Chaz Jackson coming back to you once again, representing GNG, gifting the gift. You know what our motto on this show is. You are gifted differently to make a difference. And we have a difference maker that's on the show today. Armando Jacinto is in the building, ready to show his kingsmanship as far as pouring into young people as a writer, speaker, educator in Spring ISD district, and just here just to inspire hope, transform lives, and give us more clarity on what he's doing and how he's in his God-given lane to, again, impact our next generation. Are you ready to get it, King Armando?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure. Ready to go.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on, shining your light for the audience. And I know what I shared was real brief. Can you just go into your story of how you got to where you are? I know we share similar paths, being connected to Chip Baker through his visionary arts of the impact of influence. I know I was in volume 1 and you was in volume, remind me?
4.
Volume 4. So that's somewhat how we connected, and I knew we connected. This was something that was bound to happen for us to get on GNG podcast and have a conversation. But I would love for you to share your story.
Well, just being an athlete growing up, I grew up through the Boys Club with my grandfather was the director of the Boys Club in Waco, Texas, because that's where I was born and raised most of my life. Through the Boys Club, just became became very athletic. I mean, played everything. When you're at the Boys Club, you play basketball, you play football, you swim, you shoot, play ping pong, you play board games. You go on different field trips to different Texas Ranger Museum. We went to a Texas Ranger baseball game. We went just everything. He just really, he was very impactful to not just myself, but so many young men as I was growing up. And I saw the impact and respect that he had. And that's not what I was looking for, but I just saw how much impact he had on young men and young ladies going up to the Boys Club. And then as I progressed, grew up through my teenage years, continued playing and became a pretty good athlete growing up. And when I graduated from high school and when I was going off to college to go play, my high school coach, he asked me there almost at the end of the school year, he just said, hey, he just asked me what I was going to major in. And I said, business. I don't even know why. I just said it. I had like plans, like if I'm open my own business or I'm going to go into this organization or the corporate world. I just said it. I don't even know why. And what's so funny is that my family side of the family, my mother's side of the family, they were all educators and coaches. And then going up through the Boys Club, my grandfather, I didn't even think about being a coach. And he said, he said, I'm not my coach said, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I think that would be a big mistake. You're a great leader. You need to be a coach. And when he told me that, that's when I changed my path of what I wanted to do when I went to college and what I wanted to do with my life. And when I graduated, I had 2 opportunities. I could get back into the Boys Club because my grandfather had passed on with him, but the person who was overseeing the Boys Club, he asked me if I wanted to run a unit, which is kind of like a Boys Club similar to a YMCA, but I also had an opportunity to coach. And that was always my dream as once I got into school that to see what I could do at an organized level. I had to coach at the Boys Club level, but just at an organized level.
So whenever you left school, so you start out in business, what did you change your degree to? Did you?
I changed it to PE.
PE, okay.
Yeah, and with the minor in history. because and when I was going through college, talking to people who are already coaching, they were telling me, PE's good, but you're not. When you come out, you're going to be a rookie. Those go to the to the more experienced coaches and the coaches who are head coaches. So they advised me to have another certification, and that's why. And I really liked history, so I went into history. So, but and that's what when I graduated and received my first teaching the coach position, I was teaching Texas history at middle school, and started there in Waco at University Middle School in 1986. And I was coaching football, basketball, and baseball. And then as the years progressed, and I aspired to move up to the levels, I was able to progress through in Waco at university, move up to the high school, where eventually, about 15 to 20 years later, I was the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator for football. And through those years, I was the head baseball coach. I also I coached basketball, I coached soccer, coached softball. So that really prepared me for the for and then as I came up through the system, I just saw the impact I was having, and I just was wanted to get these leadership positions and move up, because I saw the higher I went up in the food chain, the more impact, the more people I could impact, young men and young women. And so then and I was had success as a coach, but that's because I had good coaches around me. We had good players, and I was able to progress through the ranks. But then I made a move to Austin, where there's opportunity there, and I became a head coach in 2009 at Travis High School in Austin, Texas, and I was a head coach there for 5 years, and we accomplished something and I was a head football coach that was never accomplished in school history. We're making the playoffs 5 years in a row. As I saw the impact I was having as I uh, moved up vertically through the ranks, then I started aspiring to maybe be an athletic director. And so the position came open, assistant athletic director position came open here in spring. I had a circle of mentors that always consulted with to help me through the profession, and just giving me advice and just helping me become a better person and a coach and a teacher. And whenever I would apply for these positions, I had one former coach, but he was now in the networking business as far as at a college, and he was very well networked in within the coaching profession. And if he didn't know somebody, he knew somebody who knew somebody. So this position came open, and the contact person who was the athletic director at that time, and I asked him, did he know this man? Because I knew of him, but I didn't know him. And he said, yeah, I gave him his first head coaching job. So I knew that was going to get me in the door. And when I interviewed for the position, I was fortunate, and I was hired by Willie Amendola, who's athletic director here in Spring ISD, and became assistant AD. And I was doing that. I did that here for 6 years. 2 years ago, when he retired, I was fortunate to be selected for the athletic director position here, and now I'm going on my second year. There's always benefits to as you progress, but there's also challenges, and a lot of those things that you don't understand, you don't think about. You think about all the things that you do that very tangible and you can see, but there are always things when you progress that you don't think about that hit you in the face sometimes, and they kind of surprise you. And those are the things that you have to be able to adjust to in order to be effective. But the main thing that I see, and it's in all professions, as I've realized, is that it's about relationships that you have with people. If you can become very good at building those relationships, and you can be very successful in what you do, because you can't do it by yourself. You have to have a very good support system from your family, from the people you work with, and from the people that you lead. Because I just realized that when you're a leader, people don't work for you. You work with them. And if you try
Wow,
to
that's so deep. I like that.
if you try to keep that philosophy, then you really see yourself as one of them and not being above them, because everybody plays an important role. Because if somebody doesn't fulfill their role, then you're not going to be successful as a team. And because and being that said, if all it takes is one person to not doing their job for whatever reason that may be, then the group or the team is not successful. So I guess that's one of the things, coming through, and you're an athlete yourself. You see how, and I've been in games where we were the best team, we didn't win, and there have been games where we weren't the best team and we won, and it came about the camaraderie amongst teammates, and the chemistry you have, and you still see that today with different all these athletic events, and not always the best team wins, and it's always it comes down to the how people fight for each other and play for each other, not play for themselves, and that's the way. So you have to do that in life. That you always have to think about who's dependent on you, whether it's your family, whether whatever you do, whatever your career is, because those people depend on you. And if you don't do what you need to do, then they're not going to be successful. But then vice versa, if they don't give you support you need, you're not going to be successful, because you might be successful, but you won't be happy. So
Man, you're dropping some gems, King Jacinto. That's amazing. Thank you for diving deeper into your story and your passions that are getting you up in the morning. It's always amazing whenever you're able to wake up and you have a purpose, you have a driven purpose to keep moving forward and going to bed, with the anticipation of knowing, man, hey, I got some people that's looking at me to impact and influence their lives in the morning, and having that drive to want to get up the next day. So King Jacinto, I think the biggest thing that I heard, and whoever's listening, hopefully you was following this as well, was relationships are important. I heard how, the boys club had a big impact on your life, and also other mentors that kind of came along the way, and just building those relationships of, it's not all about what you know, but also who you know, is kind of what I was getting out of what you were sharing, as I paraphrase a little bit. So, one of my favorite quotes I say that is, relationships can either nourish you or they can drown you, right? So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it's all about getting around those nourishing relationships. The ones that potentially can drown you is going to come. There's no way of, not having that happen, but just having the mentality to get yourself back on track. And I think one of the biggest ways that I was able to personally get back on track from, we can say toxic relationships, is having, those nourishing relationships to kind of encourage you to get on the right path, and also just having the willpower to keep moving forward. But for my next question I have for you, I would love to hear, what is your definition of success? If you had to come up with a definition, and whoever's listening, I'm hitting them on the spot here. None of this is orchestrated or anything like that, or he didn't have these questions at the beginning. So, but you can ponder on a little bit. But I'd love to know, what is your definition of success?
It's just the legacy that the impact and the legacy you leave with the people that you come in contact with and you interact with, from your family to people that you played with, and I'll use just as an athlete, people that you coach with, the people that you lead, and when you do that, if you make a positive impact, then they're going to carry that forward. Then you've been successful, because if you do that as a coach and as an athletic director, no matter what you do, you're going to be successful, because you've impacted the people in a positive way, and they're going to do it the right way. And kind of like what you were alluding to about those toxic people, when you're trying to do good, that's when toxic people are brought into your life, or toxic things, in order to drive you off the person who we know as Christians that tries to put you off the path. He comes for the good people. He don't come for the bad people, because I ain't gonna say bad people, but people that are not living their life right in his eyes. I'm not saying my eyes, because that's not for us to judge. But that when they're doing that, they already have them, and that they're doing the toxic work for them already. But the good people who are trying to do it the right way, that's where you're always going to have people, things, or obstacles thrown in your way to drive you off that path. And we as humans, we're going to be knocked off that path, but we always have to remember why. And I started kind of, and as humans, you feel sorry for yourself, and you say, man, why's this going on? But then Chip reached out to me, and he said, You know, Chip does say, just checking up on you, coach. How you doing? And I kind of not in the detail, but told him, you know, going through some issues, and and he kind of, you know, brought it back to remember me why. And so you let I'm trying to handle it instead of doing that, letting the man upstairs handle it. And that kind of put me back on my path, and I came in and came home to my wife, same thing, and she said, "Yeah, you got to remember, you let him handle it, and he will handle it, and things have been better. Not all the way, not all the way back, but they're better. So you know those. You always got to remember that, and don't try to take it on yourself. Let him handle it. He will work it out in his time. Because and you know this, Chad, you're gonna be put through things, and he ain't gonna give you anything you can't handle.
Coach, man, thank you so much for going into that for me. And I don't think you could have said it any way better. You know, we got to cast those burdens on him. You know, his hands are open. He wants us to be hidden in his hands. You know, the Bible says, Jesus is to help carry our burdens. And I got to remember that myself. You know, there's so many times where I don't know, I think this is being the man of the house or male in general, you want to be the one to fix things. You want to be the one to lead things, but the Lord calls us to put him out front and let us follow. So, I'm just encouraged to continue to pray for you, whoever's listening, to continue to pray for you, King Jacinto, and for us just to give those burdens to him. And any way I can help serve as well on, sharpening you, and hopefully you'll be encouraged to help sharpen me. We'll continue to strive forward and remember our whys and remember why the Lord put us on this planet to do the phenomenal things that we've been or had the opportunity to do. And we still got breath left in our body. So there's still so much more for us to do in as far as encouraging, impacting and influencing people in our lives that we're going to cross paths with. And I'm led to ask, Coach, so this show was built on providing tips and techniques for young men as they strive to grow in personal development and leadership. And I know, you provided so much gold already. And whoever's listening, hopefully you've got your pen, your paper, been taking some notes. If you didn't, I encourage you to rewind this bad boy back, because coaches definitely gave some valuable application points. But is there anything else that you would love to share to that young man that's listening to you right now? Or there could be potentially a coach or a parent, teacher listening to you right now that's looking for some ways to encourage that young man to keep striving, keep pushing forward when, the world's probably throwing something at that young man that he don't really know how to overcome. And he's looking for someone like yourself to share some things. So whatever comes to heart, Coach, what do you got?
Just always remember that when you're going through a difficult time in your lives, and that difficult time could not be what I went through was not nothing, because there's people that have a whole lot harder things going through than what I am. People that are ill, people that don't have a home, people that don't have jobs. Mine was small, very infinite and small as compared to what other problems people have. But don't ever feel like you're the only one going through those. Everybody has gone through that, gone through the things that you go through. And what would help you, if you can just find somebody who's gone through those same obstacles and gone through that path that you're going through, when it becomes very when life becomes difficult at times, find somebody who has gone through that path, and they can give you some advice on how to handle it and how they dealt with it, and that'll help you get back on the path and how to handle those different obstacles that are thrown in your path. Because I get coaches talking to me all the time, and they get frustrated because they don't get that head job, and then not tell them. But that there's a wise man once told me, when I was going through those same things and going job, not getting, and I was like the kids, I was hating on people that were getting these jobs. And he said, you got to understand. He told me three things. He said, first, the job might not be ready for you. You might not be ready for the job. And until you're sincere, and this came out of the Bible, and I'm paraphrasing, you will not receive the crown. See, I was hating on people.
Wow.
And then once I stopped doing that, the next opportunity, I got the job. and that I would that that applied for. And the last thing is, you said it's about. And I kind of I had this kind of same philosophy, like it's not what you know, but who you know. But I've kind of evolved into this profession and through life is that now I tell people it's who knows you, because
Wow, that's
you know
powerful.
people can say they know, say somebody says I know Chaz, and then Chaz comes, they come up to you and say, Armando Jacinto. No, maybe I met him if I said, but no, I don't recall that I do know him. And you see me say, oh yeah, I know him. But if you don't, and say you're the person that's making that decision, if my name is not on your mind, it doesn't matter that I know you. You got to know me for me
It's
to
true.
get that door. So that's where I've kind of evolved, and that's what I tell people. Because if they know you, then you got a chance. Because compared to you knowing them, then they know what you're about, and then you have a better opportunity to get in that door, maybe getting that opportunity that you work so hard for. So that's kind of what I would lead, and and I know a lot of our young men today, and the clientele that I deal with, and I'm probably yourself too. It's our clientele. Everywhere I've been, it's not being they don't have a lot going for them as far as the financial way. Not coming from very having everything that they need to survive just as a person, and not just material wise, but also the stability wise. Maybe coming from one parent home, or maybe living with their grandmother, older brother, older sister, aunt, things like that. Is that we have to let them know that yeah, it's going to be hard. I mean, even those who have stability and have everything they need growing up, it's hard for them. We understand that, but it can be done. But just find somebody who's going through those same things, and they can help you get through it, that's gone through it and been successful. Uh, but even when like me and you are in what we do, we have a pretty. I feel that what we do for a living is it provides financial stability and also emotional stability, because we feel we're making an impact on people.
I truly believe that.
But like I told you, the last couple of weeks, I wanted to not be in this position. You know what I'm saying? So uh, uh, it's not always what you call it, cookies and cream per se. Even when we're in what we want to do, and what we and love what we're doing and know we make impact, there's those obstacles that's still going to come up, whether it's a thing, a person, or just life itself. So even though you might want to, be careful what you ask for, because you might get it. So
Man,
that's
I don't know how to better say that word, because a lot of times the only thing we pray for, then we get it. Then we want to complain about when the Lord gives us what we ask for. So I have a ton of stories that kind of relate to that one. So, Coach, man, this has been so fruitful. I tell you, King Jacinto, um, whoever's listening, I encourage you, share this out. Get this episode in front of as many people as possible, because I believe what he has shared on this episode is valuable. He's dropped some amazing gems, and there's someone that you know that needs to hear this message. So thank you so much for taking that action for us, and also applying that application point. I encourage you to take the daily challenge of choosing one of those application points to really pour into, and then take that daily challenge on living it out in your 24 hours each day. And just know that we're here to support you through that process. But Coach Jacinto, I want you to please give your contact information, social media handles, whatever you are led to share, because I believe there's somebody that's listening to us that they just want to, reach out to you. Whether that's
oh,
through prayer or maybe mentorship, however the case may be. But if that opportunity does come available, could you just share your information on how we can reach you and some of the
yes.
things you have going
um,
on coming up soon that we can
uh,
be praying about?
yes, sir. On Twitter, it's you can follow me at ajacinto3, and as far as my email address, it's ajacinto@springisd.org, and just reach out to me. Somebody helped me to get where I'm at today, and I don't turn down anybody if they're sincere about wanting to progress, make themselves a better person, a better professional, and it doesn't matter the profession or whatever you want to do. I'm always willing to help anybody, because somebody helped me get to where I'm at today. Every step along the way, I was giving somebody helped me. And someone or somebody helped me get where I am today, and continue to help where I'm at. And I still reach out to people, to my circle of people, to keep me on the right track, and keep and make sure that I stay humble. Because as soon as you think it's all about you, just like I said, those obstacles will be thrown in front of you to let you know that you ain't a bag of chips. You're infinite to what the world has out there. You're a small piece of what everything else that the man upstairs got's going on.
So much value there, Coach. Again, thank you for blessing GNG podcast. I know the audience really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing how the Lord moves in your life and what's to come, because there's greatness inside you, because greatness made you. I truly believe that, and keep shining your light along the way. I'm going to lead us out, okay? Hey, I told each and every one of you that this is going to be a great episode. Again, share a comment. Please let us know what application point that you're going to take from this episode to help inspire change in your life, to help you inspire hope in the other and transform lives. All right. I want you to stay up with GNG. More episodes coming soon. I want you to do two things for me. Keep that crown on your heart. And please remember this. We are God's echo. I love each and every one of you. Peace.
Thank you for listening to G&G Podcast. Remember, you are gifted differently to make a difference. Please visit ChazJacksonSpeaks.org and let's continue to grow together. God bless.